cost and best way to fix it by far.
And I think the first time, I thought we used motor fuel funds for that, so I'm not sure. For taking that.
Do we have a plan to fix it, or we just, I know it's a problem, but what is, do we have a plan?
I'm probably getting an estimate.
I don't think we've even had anybody come out and look at it, have we? That's what I mean.
I don't know, not that I know.
I just think we need to have somebody meet with, I guess, Mike and Jay and Mayor and take a look at it and see what our best options are on it.
The job we did north of there, Bruce was mayor then, so. But, I gotta look back in the records, see what we spent on that, if you want.
That ditch is all designed on there to get water down to the north end creek down there, and
Yeah.
the water starts back.
I
up
can
there
remember
in
Bruce
town.
saying we probably need to do it further on up.
I remember even when Marty was mayor, he knew back then we was gonna have to keep walking our way back south eventually.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm just kind of open for suggestions and what you guys are thinking. Personally, I feel like we should have somebody come out and look at it.
You want me to look back and see when we did that? And see how much we spent?
That one was right,
We can go from there.
I mean, it's a pretty substantial project, take on city block, but, how do you guys want me to proceed? I guess I was under a different type of impression for this. Want me to reach out and see what it would cost to fix those? Do anybody wanna take it on as a personal project? What do we wanna do?
You think the rip rap would hold? Keep that from washing?
I don't know enough about it, but I know it's a substantial cost.
That's what it means.
It's huge. There, I think it was between 8,000 and 10,000 on the one that we did do.
Yeah, I think it's pretty, yeah.
The price of this. If we can table this, I will reach out and see if I can get a quote.
Yeah. I'm just looking down the road, what if it does start, it's gonna get into the road. It cracks the road slides into the ditch, then you're gonna have to fix the road and the ditch. Both. Then you got another expense.
We'll table that one. I'll see if I can come up with a proposal on that one. That way we can see dollar signs and see what we're actually
Yeah.
dealing with. Did you come up with anybody for code enforcement ordinance officer? I brought one up the last meeting, it was voted down. I have down here, we looking into something more, so I don't know if you were reaching out or what the deal was.
The guy I had in mind, he don't want to do it, not a right. It'd be a pain, it can run into a lot of headaches, people not agreeing and stuff like that, so I was also just trying to reach out, put it on here, what you guys are thinking. We definitely have to have somebody, it don't have to be a man, a woman, whoever, I don't care. Those are generally qualified and know what they're doing. Because we can't keep going down the road we're going.
I did some work, I did submit an application for that position.
I'm just open for suggestions, as the board, what you guys are thinking.
Who was our last code enforcer?
Kelly,
Kelly, can we,
Kelly Bank.
Well, I mean before that.
Brian Minor was at the Kelly's house.
Like the last time it wasn't a board member.
I do know that a lot of ordinances tickets were issued by the actual ordinance officer, I proposed last month and it was voted down. I haven't reached out to Seth or anything like that.
It is my opinion.
Mike reached out to Cesar and he said he didn't want to do it.
Like this,
Stop work.
Mike Gully,
Huh?
Mike Gully.
Mike Moyers.
Recently he did that, or is this?
Yeah. Before he left office, a few months before that. I had mentioned someone reaching out to Thad Snell, he's the code enforcement officer from West Frankfurt, he lives here in Valier, but I don't know if anyone has or not.
That's not good.
He may be full time, he may not want it, I don't know. I don't know.
It is full-time, most factor.
He is full time.
I'm pretty sure.
You wanna do anything with this right now, or do we wanna table it? Does somebody wanna take it on as a personal project, reach out to someone?
Do you all have a copy of my proposal?
I don't have any copies of any proposals.
Would you like me to get one?
Yes.
I mean, if you're offering,
Yeah, I'm offering. I have personal experience with all of three past, people, and I believe that I can represent myself better than anyone who approached me, in a more friendly manner, and I think be more productive.
so let's table this one. We've got a potential applicant, and we can still reach out and see if anybody knows anyone else. We can always entertain the fact of looking into the gentleman in West Frankfurt, but he's full-time, I don't know how that would necessarily work for him, probably wouldn't be able to double duty that. But, table, see if it will change for the next agenda. Marshall, we're interested in lettering on fire department.
Yeah, I'd like to see us put, or at least get a cost on some, like, maybe white lettering on the outside of the fire department up there. You can't even see what's up there. I think it says Village of Valier, I think. You can barely see what's up there. I don't know what it says, honestly. I'd just like to see some kind of, not real expensive lettering, but something that's gonna hold up through the years. Just says, Village of Valier, Fire Department. Something simple, just something simple. We're talking a whole lot of money.
You wanna look into the cost on that?
Yeah, I can check into that.
So we'll table that one, so we can get cost analysis in front of it, or some type of proposal. Is that, why don't you do that, see if it's something we can do, or like you have to, I don't know, if you have to sub that out or something, or something like that. I don't know how they get it put on there. Do we have the gentleman here for the ball field that came at last meeting?
Tim Ryman, is he here? Oh, guess he's here.
Unless somebody wants to move forward on that, I'm just gonna move on, since our proposal's not here. Okay, take action on Valier Women's Club decorative bicycles.
All field table.
Ball field's done, we'll have to re-propose it at the next, they'll have to come up with public comments, again, we can put it on the agenda as they requested. As for the bikes for the women's club, the only thing I would say is, we're gonna have them or not have them, how long and when. Everybody needs to address that one, so there's no confusion in the future coming forward. If there's any questions about maintenance or anything like that, now's the time.
motion to accept it.
Personally, I think it was nice.
Do we want them year-round, do we want them seasonal, or, these are just, this whole topic was brought up a couple meetings ago, where we went through it, and it was a, kind of, the previous mayor said she could do it, some people.
No,
refused
no,
us
he
to.
didn't say we could do it. He said we could do this town the way that, you know, to make it look pretty. He didn't say what we could do or what we couldn't do. But we,
Okay, so then to clarify, we need to come up with somewhat of a plan. Is this gonna be a year-round thing? Is it gonna be seasonal? Is there gonna be certain locations that they don't need to be or they need to be?
what's wrong with it being year round?
What's that?
What's wrong?
I'm asking them to make the decision, I'm just giving them the information.
I mean, if you, there's been over 70 or 80 people that have said they like them and that they, you know, they would like to have them.
I don't think they should be placed beside somebody's yard that they, you know, but most of them that I see now around, it's not my personal, you know.
Well, I've had some say if we don't vote on them, for us to keep them, that they want to put them in their yard.
And
And one lady said if we don't want them, she could bring them over to Coelho.
Basically, what we're doing here is the same theory of our chicken ordinance. It needs to be officially put in place.
Well, what is the big deal? I mean, what are they
Let me
hurting?
ask your attorney this, I've got
They're
this.
not eating
And
anything.
this ain't picking on nobody, this is just a legal question. What's our legal aspect of it? What if some kid gets on, tears them up, gets cut,
So I don't know what you're talking about, where are
How about-
on these bicycles?
How about the sidewalks, for people to get hurt on the sidewalks?
And then, now they've been redecorated for, you know, spring, summer.
Where are they located?
Mainly on the main
Fire.
road,
They're
you
on
know,
city
around town.
property.
on the main
Next
road.
to poles.
Like other, there's several towns that have them.
No, they're not.
No, they're not rideable, they don't have
No,
tires
some of them don't
on
even
them.
have tires on them.
They don't have tires.
Some don't have,
The only
have,
potential liability to the city would be if somebody gets on one and gets hurt and files a lawsuit, and then they would have to prove that the city should know.
That could happen with anything.
You have a second legal opinion, so.
well,
Took classes on it.
But the difference between the bicycles and the sidewalk's been there, we own it. We don't own the bikes. That's the difference.
Right, so it would be, harder to bring a case against the city because you
Right.
don't own them.
Right,
you know?
that's what I'm getting at.
Yep.
I just wanna know what our, people sue that folks.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
That's
I
super cool.
mean, if an incident happened, there'd be a lawsuit filed, that's what happens. The question is, will they just sue the owner of the property, the owner of the bicycle, the city, or all three? I did a lot of personal injury work, for the first 9 years of my practice. Usually, as a personal injury lawyer, you sue everybody, and you figure it out later.
Yeah.
And you do discovery, you take depositions, you find out who did what, who knew what, and if there's even a 10% chance that you might win against the city's gonna have an insurance company that has high liability limits, so you're not gonna give up on that lawsuit. Your insurance will pay for it, but your insurance premiums go up. You know, it's a relatively low risk. There's risk in every decision you make. In my
we're not
opinion,
gonna have anything if we do that.
in my opinion, there's some risk, but it's relatively low.
So if the board approved having the bicycles up, does that make us more responsible?
Yeah.
I think that's what he was trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you're endorsing it.
Yes.
So in my scenario, there's a kid gets on and tries to move it, falls and hits their head and have serious head injury on the sidewalk, because it's concrete, it's a little kid maybe.
They aren't
falls.
padlocked, right, or they're
No,
locked? They just said he
they're
has.
tied to the poles.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I don't know what the chances of that happening are, but if it did happen, a personal injuries lawyer might sue the city, whoever owns the bicycle, whoever owns the property where it's located. That would be the standard, response. If they knew that the the city approved it being there. They may not have figured that out.
Right.
So in your opinion, do we
Need be?
This is
You know what I mean?
a,
It's your vote. If we
I
don't vote on it,
don't have a vote, this is a board decision, that does involve some risk, not a lot of risk. That's how I would put it from a legal perspective.
what if we don't vote on it?
So here's the issue we have with the whole thing. The only reason this is brought up and put on the agenda, because it was never voted on. I'm not trying to necessarily debunk this or make it go away. I wanna have the specifics lined out. So in case, for instance, say somebody has one that they don't like, then we can move it. But is there gonna be maintenance behind it? Are city workers doing the work around it, or the women's club doing it? Are they gonna be year round? Are they gonna be maintained? Whatever the case may be, we just need to document it. Because, just like a lot of people have said, people are too crazy. But if we have documentation, that's where it starts. And we can have these things in place that shows this is our plan, this is what it was. We do have elements, if people don't like them, we can move them or whatever the case may be. But this is just a form of documentation, not necessarily saying we don't want them or we do want them. I mean, you guys have to make that decision. But I'm just throwing the information out there to address a topic on the agenda, whether we want them, if we need to specify anything else about year-round, seasonal, decorations, where they're located. All those things should be taken into account in your decision, if you guys decide.
It's like, you know, you just talk about a lawsuit that would be a small chance. How many sidewalks do we have in Southeast? I mean, that's much more dangerous than what the bicycles are.
And the monkey bars down here on this end, the south end, them should have been taken out a long time ago. If you look, there's concrete at the bottom. If one of them children get up there and go diving, they're gonna kill themselves. Stuff like that is, to me, just as important as a bicycle being sitting there that can't be rode. It's spray painted, it ain't gonna go nowhere. The tires are flat. That's just,
Where does,
Sure.
And I'm gonna put you in the hot seat again.
Thank you.
He's not coming back.
Would it be better for them just to ignore that the bikes are there and possibly the women's club put like the bike blocks rather than tie them to a post, a bike block around them so that, you know, to me, I'm thinking that if a kid gets hurt, the women's club could get sued.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
And
I don't have nothing.
that in putting the bike blocks, that's showing that they tried to make it to where kids couldn't get on them and hurt themselves.
Yeah, so to go back to your initial question, if the board doesn't take a vote either way, allows them to stay, there is a lower risk of exposure in that scenario. You can't, somebody could sue you for failing to enforce your own ordinances, but there's case law, meaning appellate courts in Illinois have said you can't force a city, because the most common defense is we don't have the resources, we can't enforce all of our ordinances. So the case law in Illinois is you can't sue a city because it did not enforce its ordinance. So that is a lower risk approach, in my opinion.
So the only one that I really saw that probably would have been something that someone would litigate against was the one that was fixed to the tennis courts up there.
It's not there
I thought
anymore.
that was kind of a liability, but it's not
Yeah.
now, so.
yeah.
Oh, one more thing for all you guys' benefits. One of the common situations where a village or a city might get sued is if you know of a dangerous condition on city property and you don't do anything about it. But usually the person filing the lawsuit, because you're a city, you get some immunity. I don't get that benefit if someone gets hurt at my house. If I should have known that there was a big hole in the front yard, or I don't do a good job taking care of my yard, I can get sued. For the city, they have to prove that you knew there was a dangerous condition and you didn't do anything about it. So that gives you some additional protection.
We know now.
To me, they're not in a dangerous situation. I don't see that.
find the maintenance and stuff, I know, the women's club has said that they'll keep the weeds and keep them.
And we've been doing
maintained
that.
On there, so.
I make a motion, we let him keep it here now.
I'll second. As long as they're doing the maintenance and stuff, so.
With the condition the women's club maintains it, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Does Gail want to amend his motion to have that?
Yes,
I'll do
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I have a motion from Gail and a second from Rod. To keep the bikes year-round with the condition the women's club will maintain, the bikes and around them. Call the roll. Rob,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Marshall,
No.
Jeff,
I abstain, I don't care either way.
huh?
I abstain, I don't care
Abstain.
either way.
Dwayne. You're abstaining? Okay, George.
So those two, it's two. Oh, no, you're right, it's 2-1, it's 2 abstain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, so.
Yeah.
So I don't need his vote. We don't need a majority.
Yeah, you do need, you do need, no, you do need a majority, so she does need your vote. I think the majority is 3.
Yes, majority is 3.
Yeah.
What was the specific motion again?
Motion to keep the bikes year-round with the condition that the woman club maintains the bikes and around the bikes. Gail made the motion, Rob seconded. And 2 yeas, 2 abstain.
Well, like Sandy said, we can go back and make the town look like it used to be.
With a theater,
Huh?
with a theater and grocery stores and.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
50 businesses.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and there's so many different ways that you can get hurt on stuff here in town. You guys all said when I went to talk to you that you didn't, you know, you were for it. You didn't have a problem with it. Now you won't vote for it? You were for the betterment of the town.
Let me ask this, if you voted it in today, that's something that can be changed if it develops a problem down the road, right?
Yes. Of course.
The bikes have been there for over 8 months now. Have we had any issues with anyone getting hurt on them or anything?
And the whole deal is, it's just because a few people didn't want it.
Well, excuse me, how do other cities manage to have, like, you know, the Bulls out in Chicago or whatever? How do they legally handle that? Because the liability in a larger town is huge.
The city also maintains those.
I'm sorry?
The city also maintains those too. So it's kind of different.
Well, that's the difference then.
You could maintain it.
I mean, this is, I mean, honestly, this is taking the longest out of everything we've done.
Well, it's because of the way it's been done. George, you know it.
If you don't wanna vote, then it dies.
I'm not gonna vote on it. I
You
think it's
abstain?
going too much back and forth. I'm gonna abstain from it.
All right.
Chickens.
Is there any kind of problem with the bikes? I mean, that they're 3/8 or something?
It's been actually over the last couple of weeks. There was complaints, and then there was a petition, everybody loved it. I simply put it on the agenda, get it voted on, so we can come up with a definitive plan, so nothing's in question. And this is one of those things, I mean, putting in front of the board to make a decision on this, it's went this way. So right now, there's no plan, it's a dead topic. If there's issues, we'll have to address it as it comes up in the future. If people don't like it in their yards or by their yards or something, we'll have to address that as a complaint or not a complaint. If this thing is taking its toll as far as weeding in comparison to using weed killer. So, it's a dead topic, I'm gonna move on from it. If somebody wants to bring it up or go over it at a later date, they can.
Will the bikes be able to stay with the way the road has been?
How about we do it,
Until a problem?
how about we do it this way? You can leave the bikes up. If there's a bike in your yard and you don't like it, tell the women's club to come get it.
They're not in the yard, Jeff.
Well, I'm just saying.
They're on a pole.
I'm just proposing, I just want to say, if there's, what I'm saying,
They can go in the yard.
if they were in somebody's yard, they don't want it in their yard,
They're not in the yard.
okay, that's fine.
They're all, if you go down there, they're all on poles.
We're gonna move on from this. This is a dead topic. We're gonna move on. We'll address it as it comes in the future. But honestly, I hate to be rude, but the public comment part's done. This isn't a debate. This is for the board to make a decision on. We're not making a decision either way. As by the voters. There's nothing being done. That's why I presented it on the agenda to make a decision. And
So it stays as it is.
there is no as it is. That's the issue. That was my issue with the whole topic to start with. I had complaints, I was contradicted by other people that said there's no complaints. And then whether they are up, whether they're not up, this case, whatever the case may be.
Why don't the people show up and say it?
Regardless, it's on the agenda. It was voted on the way it's voted on, and I'm not calling anybody telling them to be taken down. But if it poses a problem in the future, we'll have to address it. Moving on from there, the stone ceiling of City Hall.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I've just been going for a while. Has that been sealed? I know when we purchased it back in the day, I know Black was involved in that day. The guy told me that we should seal it every year. Keep it from crack, just like any kind of concrete. I just want to know, is it being sealed or not being sealed or? He just said use the Thompson water seal on it, coat it. I'm just curious to see if it was being done or not.
I mean, we can.
What stone are you talking
The
about?
one up
Large H.
front.
Buchanan
Yeah,
stone?
Buchanan.
Okay.
We can, I mean, if you want to put the motion to just have it done, I'm sure it's not much.
Probably it's a 15-minute job. Put some stuff on there and seal it and done. I just know when we bought it, the guy just said you need to seal it every year. Seal it up.
I mean, we can take it on as a proposal, but I think honestly, the cost of that will be in the realm of we just approve it.
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing.
I don't think it, so I just, if somebody wants to do it, make a motion, we can vote say yes or no to it, and it's an equal fix.
He said that he sealed it.
Yeah, that's what he told me, the guy.
I'll make it a motion.
I'll second.
Call the roll. Rock,
Yes.
Gale,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Dwayne.
Yes.
All right, motion carried.
All right, we're almost there. Last topic. Solicitors and peddlers. We don't really have any plans yet because I think this all stems back to our ordinance officer. We talked about it last month. I'm gonna move this to old business. Unless somebody has some proposal or something, I think we should table for next month to see if we can address an ordinance officer or revisit. Simply for the fact that we do have ordinances in place for this. have signs that post them, but actually catching them in the act by the time anybody gets out here, they're gone. So at the end of the day, I think this is where an ordinance officer would truly come into play. So unless somebody wants to move on it, I was gonna just take it. To see if we can get a person in place, that way, that can be there ready to. Yeah, so let's just table that for next month.
Before we go, what did we decide on the motor for the E1 fire truck that ran $1,000? That is one of our bigger trucks. I know we said take the truck to zero, but we did an estimate.
That was the alternator, right?
That's the alternator, but the.
Well,
actual
Jonathan
truck-
presented, we could make it, we could
That was.
do an emergency, we feel like this is an emergency, it's a brush,
Well,
you said it was a brush truck, right? Or-
Well, no, the one I'm talking about is the big.
Indian fire.
Yeah, the fire. Twenty 2017 E1 fire truck. Banner, I guess, makes rounds, so they do pressure, the pressure test. Assuming, I'll have to talk to Mike, I didn't get a chance to talk to Mike before he went on vacation, but I guess Banner puts the motor on, switch the motors. That's okay, yes.
Oh, I'm talking about the brush truck, the different, right?
Mr. Canfield, I'm sorry to be bombarding you, but this one right here, this, with city operations and maintenance, does this require a vote to fix that, or do you think it's more of an emergency situation where we can?
Pick something for less than $1,000, I would say no, you don't need to vote, especially if it's a needed vehicle. You can bring it back to the board if or if the expense was a little bit more than what you thought, or if it ends up being way more, maybe you say, well, I wanna take this to the board and kind of use common sense. But you can kind of get retroactive approval, just, to inform the board at the next meeting, and if there's this special cost.
I just want to know what to tell Mike.
We're good to move forward with it, if it's at the 1,000, if it goes over, we need to.
So now it's going to go ahead and move forward.
Can you get a proposal for sure? Or is that word of mouth?
Right now, it's word of mouth. That comes from Banner. I asked Banner how much it was going to cost the city. He estimated it about $1,000.
He comes back, see if he can get an actual price, and if it's still within 1,000, we can move with it. If it's more, we'll have to possibly do it.
So if it's more contacts you, then you
Yeah,
contact me.
I'll reach out.
And if it's an emergency, you can call board members one at a time, let them know, get it done.
So I'll have Mike move on that, and then if it's over,
Over 1,000, just reach out with this.
Tell me again which truck that is,
it's the E1 fire truck, it's 2017. So if it's $1,000, John, go ahead and fix it. If it's over 1,000, I just want to make sure I'm getting this.
Correct.
Yeah. Just bring it for the board members one at a time. Probably gonna have this close to the board meeting.
Well, it's just something I feel like we probably need to. We don't have to wait a month to do it.
Yeah,
through.
no,
I feel like we don't need to. Well, with that one, it'll run, but the problem with it is, unfortunately, Mike is on vacation, he could probably explain this better. I don't know if they ran that truck, if it's our company, if the motor being bad is going to do something else to that truck, or if it just is going to, with the water flow as well.
Can I explain just a little bit on that?
Well, we,
I believe that's the primer on that truck.
yeah, it's a primer motor.
Primer motor on that truck, and what that is, if you've got the draft, if you've got to suck water.
Off of a hydrant?
It will work on, no, not on the hydrant, if you've got to suck out of the pump and lake or something like that. On the mutual aid calls, on your health plan calls, when they have a pump out of all the tanks, they've got the draft, you gotta have that primer pump that works to start your suction.
So that truck will work,
It will
like
work
off a
on
hydrant or
hydrants,
something?
yes.
Okay. So it's not as dangerous as I have in my, I I mean, it needs to be fixed, but it's
Here in
not.
town, it'll work fine. If they gotta go out in the country on a mutual aid call or whatever, in our district, we have, they gotta pump out those old tanks, where they haul water to the tanks.
I think that's actually what happened to us, they sucked something out.
They've
didn't
got to draft out of that, suck out of those tanks to get that started, they have to have that.
We have another truck that can do that.
I'm not, it's been a long time since I've been with the fire department.
they? They've got that other, there's another truck on there, that's the one with the wheel on it, needs to be re-
So we do still
I
have.
believe the other one's a straight pump, I'm not sure. That was on before, or they did that before I left the work. But the primer pump is if they got a pump, a household car out.
Well, that makes sense, cause they talked like they sucked up some sand or something like that, and it got them, yeah, that makes sense.
So, get it checked out, if it's over 1,000, we'll reassess it. I don't have anything for executive or closed sessions unless someone else does.
Hey, no, I need to have some advice. A few months ago, I sold tickets to raise money to buy the radar gun and the fob, and I had written George a check, but now he doesn't want to, have anything to do with that until everything's settled. So I don't want the town to think, that I, was false, beat him falsely. So what should I do? Shall we go ahead and buy the stuff? He's got a guy that, he can buy it from, and he also said he'd put it in. And, and also the uniforms, and I need to send those uniforms back, but can anybody get in there and get them?
We have to have police.
Actually, if I could bring this up, Lee, where are we at on police anyway? Taking any applications, or what are we doing?
Well, to put it in perspective, like, there was somebody that contacted me that was shown today, and presented himself as a potential candidate, and he didn't show. Franklin County Sheriff's Office was. Yeah.
That would be me.
Hey. There you are. Well.
So, I was the one that contacted you, and I didn't know what the situation was, or where the village was at, with any decisions, or how you guys wanted to proceed with anything. I have done any police department in the past, appointed new police department. I would have to go through the full-time academy. But I live just a couple of miles out of town here, and very much be interested, in coming to work for the village. I came just to see how to proceed, in pursuing that with you guys, or your thoughts as the board stands on it.
Long story short on this one, in speaking with him, he would have to go through the proper qualification courses, which we would have to pay for initially. There are waivers and reimbursements that we can get for sending someone to the academy to Illinois State. But, he fell in the category where he worked as a deputy sheriff, like a volunteer deputy without training before it was required to do the safety act, and change a lot of stuff. We would have to send him to the academy, with potential of possibly being reimbursed for what we paid, and the potential of throwing maybe another time down for commitments that he does. So if we want to entertain that with him, we can put it on the agenda next month, and see what we can do. But I didn't even realize it back there, I thought I talked to you on the phone. It's however you guys want to proceed, but like I said earlier, Franklin County Sheriff Bacon is reaching out to anybody potentially interested in working for us. Currently, I'm not got feedback on that yet.
Anybody I ever talk to about it doesn't want to do it. I mean, everybody I ask, because the whole time I've been on the board, if I see somebody I know that's retired or even still in force, I'll ask them, and nobody really ever wants to
it's not a profession that many people are looking to get into.
Right. And we've been through 3 or 4 since I've been here, that's not been very long, so.
Personally, I think we ought to take applications. That's what we do at work. We take several and go through them and, maybe forget it, that's exactly what we do.
Maybe apply, and, I mean,
I think that's what we ought to do, because I know I had a county deputy come to my house 2 weekends ago, I think it was 2 weekends ago, about 1 o'clock in the morning, and the reason he was there, he's knocking on the front door, I went to the front door, he had a 911 ping coming from my door. Wasn't me, he said, told me the guy's name, the guy lived out here on Park Street somewhere. That told him the guy was wandering around town at 1 o'clock in the morning. They have the ability to ping your phone. And he was wandering around town somewhere and come across my property, so I checked it out. And his words, quote, to me and my wife both, to our face, he said, you guys need to get a cop. He said, it takes us 20 to 30 minutes to get over here. He said, we're overwhelmed. And this was, I can say the deputy's name, I'm protecting him. He said, we can't do it. Just this past weekend, we had a break-in here in town, apparently going on. They could not get there. They're overwhelmed, folks. It ain't just Franklin County, it's Jackson County, they're all overwhelmed. We're outnumbered. That's how bad it is. I mean, I see it 5 days a week. It's pathetic. And, it's not just homeless and druggies, it's just, you name it, it's everything. They're everywhere. They're not just Carbondale, and they're everywhere. I mean, they're backpacking here at night, they are. I seen one out here by Phillips's the other night, he's a backpacker. They're carrying a backpack, they're trouble. I'm just telling you, they're trouble. You would be surprised what they're carrying in a backpack.
Let's put on the agenda for next month, we're taking applications for part-time police officers, post it on the website.
We have some good ideas.
Hopefully we have some applications. By all means, we'll find a way to get.
So
the
on
applications.
that, is there an application that you provide to fill out, or do you just want to roll it on in?
Applications.
Do you have a resume?
I can bring that up.
Once you get a copy of your resume, turn it into the water department, and then we'll look at it, and we'll at least get you on the list.
Experience, you have to carry your own firearm ready.
I've already been through all the firearms training.
There's qualifications on that, you carry a taser, any qualifications on that, through Exxon, Axion, they carry a whole different thing, all that stuff, yeah.
That'll give us a monthly way, so if we want to put on the next agenda, review applications, receive for police officer potential position. We'll be good there. As for the equipment of the police squad, police club funded and has money for it, do you want to act on that, or do we need to wait on that? Because the police car is separate from the police department. I don't know where the keys are. I think they're locked away, but I never received them back. I think they were returned to Kelly and she turned them into the water department. So in theory, that brings us back to, we can't do work to the car, but then again, it has to be done on site. So if we want to use the women's club money, we contact the person to put the rolling rate. It was voted on previously, yes, but given current circumstances, we need to. No, the money's still sitting. Because initially, it was gonna be driven to Carterville, we worked on Carterville.
Well, you can't go ahead and do that?
No, we can't,
Okay.
it's, unless somebody on the board wants to drive the car somewhere, I will reach out and see if I can get them to do it on site. I think legally, you can drive it for law enforcement. So, it's just up to you guys if we proceed, or if we just, I mean, obviously, we're taking applications, the potential for new officers, so maybe we should move forward. It doesn't require a vote or anything, it's more of just.
It would be nice to have the radar gun ready, if you do hire an officer, which we're gonna have to do, and then he's ready, you send him right out.
I'll reach out and I'll get a hold of the guy that's gonna do the work and see if I can get him to come down here and schedule a date with him. Aside from that, I don't have anything else.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Who did that, Marshall or Dwayne or both?
Give it to Dwayne, let's give it to Dwayne, this is good.
How about you second, Marshall?
I'll second it.
Okay. Call roll. Rob?
Yes.
Gail? Marshall?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Dwayne?
Yes.
All right, motion carries.